which was Noble Drew Ali. You feel me? And he was Muslim or Muslim. You feel me? So his nationality is going to bring us back into religion. And religion is a Babylon thing. Our indigenous ancestors, we talking about when bro was talking about like Atlantis, we ain't speak English, none of that shit. Man, they didn't have nationalities, religions. They had schools of thought. They had temples. Deep because in the Emerald Tablets, bro, like the Dweller, I fuck with the Dweller, you feel me, in the Emerald Tablets, and he ain't really spoke on that much. But the Dweller is the teacher of Tahuti. This is where Tahuti learned from. He learned a great deal of wisdom from the Dweller. And the Dweller is the one who sank the islands of Atlantis. The Dweller is the one who sank the islands of Atlantis because that portal had got opened up from the underworld and evil forces was coming in. So they sunk it and flew to Egypt or Kemet. But the Dweller is the Dweller deep, man. Like what's your perspective on the Dweller, bro, in the Emerald Tablets? I meant to ask you that though.
That's Big Mama.
Man, that's Big Mama. That's Big Mama. Hey, bro, say that's Big Mama. Hell yeah, those shit. And then
so Tahuti in the Emerald Tablets, Tahuti talk about how he enjoyed spending time with his father, and then he enjoyed spending time with his mother, and then he went to go to the Dweller in order to gain wisdom. That's Big Mama.
His father.
Because at the feet of the masters, right? In old culture, and this is the reason why we learn how to call the energy Big Mama. In old culture, when you wanted your child to learn how to be wise, you let him be raised by elderly women, right? So when you look in, the ones who have to be blessed in by matriarchs. So all of the matriarchs sent for him, and they are teaching something or learn something from him in order to teach him how to move wisdom through the community, right? So the children started calling her the Big Mama because she was bigger than Mama in the family because she was the matriarch, right? So she was not Mama, she was the Big Mama. And the Big Mama don't always have to be blood related to you. But you got to go spend your time with her in order to learn what you have to learn.
Every night. Hey, is it cool to say that Big Mama energy is that unconscious sleep, that thing that pulls us under and it's pulling you under right now? That's Big Mama that's pulling you under. You tired. You finna KO in a minute. And Big Mama is the same energy that wakes us up also, right? Would it be safe to say that?
Them is probably two of her daughters at work.
Okay.
Big Mama energy is the energy to tell you if you take your dumb ass down that street, you going to jail, nigga. Don't go. And you don't listen and take your ass down that street and go to jail. That was Big Mama telling you don't take your dumb ass down there, and you ain't want to listen.
Okay, definitely. All right, yeah, that definitely.
It sounds like she's talking right next to you. That comes from lifetimes and lifetimes of listening to Big Mama. So when she talks to you, you know the voice, but sometimes, you know, mama boys get a little rebellious and too big for their britches. So mama got to sit them down and have a talk with them. But she ain't going to sit you down when she using the forces of nature. She going to use whatever the circumstances of the society is to put you in the condition that you need so you can learn how to listen, motherfucker, when I'm talking.
Yeah, she going to tear that ass up.
Man, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Definitely,
Shit.
Joe. Definitely, man. All right, so yeah, that Big Mama energy, that's like source consciousness. That's zero. Hey, then we back at 0 point. That's the eternal awareness of everything. Like, you feel me? The reason for everything is Big Mama. So I get it. No, it ain't a hard concept to grasp or wrap your mind around. It's very, you feel me? It's very resonating because it makes sense. You feel me? And it hold a lot of validity. It's valid. You know. It's deep though. Just seeing, you know, many different ways to articulate, you know, the creative force, you know, that's within you, that's within me. You feel me? That we embody. So, you know, I definitely identify man as being God, but you have to have divine knowledge yourself in order to vibrate on this consciousness, this level of awareness. It's a certain level of awareness. You feel me? You know, anybody with divine knowledge of self is God. You know, we can't be God without that. Once we have that, now it's levels to, you know, becoming God. You know, it's God's on a lower level, and then you have levels, higher levels that you can ascend to. So it's deep though. But just knowing, you feel me, that once you die, Rod, we all die. You feel me, Joe? Once you go to sleep, we all fall asleep. The only reason I can be seen right now is because you watching. Only reason I can be heard is because you listening. So without your observation, I cease to exist in your reality. You are the creator. And that concept applies to every single soul on this reality that's experiencing life. But we have to understand that and fully know that, you know, to be able to control the reality that we create. It's deep, man. Big Mama energy manifests in many forms.
Yeah. So you got the opportunity when you're young to determine your future life path. The purpose of the elders is to teach the youth how to find their best life, right? Mm-hmm. But they told us that we had to use physical discipline called spanking to teach the children. That's not true. Spare the rod, spoil the child. Discipline is necessary, but that's not necessarily discipline.
Okay.
You know?
Definitely.
The discipline come in is how early can you get the child's attention to focus on you? Because once you can get your child to focus on you, then your child can start to understand you faster, and you can understand your child.
Fact.
And the earlier you do it, the more influential. Because you don't want to like make the kid like handicapped. You want them to be able to think for themselves. They want us to be able to follow orders and instructions. We want our children to be independent thinkers. So we got to be able to get their attention early enough in order for them to focus when we give the guidance.
Facts on for no. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. That's important for our community to know that shit too.
It'd be deep, man. So it's like, you know, knowledge of self. I feel like, you know, religion takes away our powers, you know. And that's another thing. Like, okay, like with the whole black woman is God thing, you know. Again, God is divine knowledge of self. It really don't have to do with gender, hair follicle, or skin texture, skin pigment. It's a certain level of awareness. I like to correlate, you know, Adam and Eve. You feel me? Adam and Eve, before they ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they wasn't gods. But they ate from that tree. That tree gave them divine knowledge of self. As soon as they ate the apple or the fruit, their eyes became open and they realized they were naked instantly. This is knowledge of self. Then Yahweh asked them, who told you can eat from the tree? Then he said, behold, man and woman have become one of us. Us is the Elohim, which is gods in plural in Hebrew. You feel me? Many gods in Hebrew. So God said, Adam and Eve, man and woman have become one of us. The gods knowing good and evil. So that fruit gave them divine knowledge of self. And even God said they become like us. Gods knowing good from evil. And a lot of people don't understand. I not to say that I subscribe to that, but I'm just using that passage to explain a concept. You feel me? Because it's a direct correlation. They wasn't gods at first, but that fruit gave them divine knowledge of self. And they realized they were naked. This is the first thing. They didn't even know they were naked. That's how we know they didn't have knowledge of self. As soon as they gained knowledge of self, they became gods. So God is divine knowledge of self. That's the best way I can put it. And a white person can embody this. A white person can have divine knowledge of self. It's people in the Far East that's ascended to high states of consciousness, way beyond we can fathom. And they got melanin in their skin, but they don't have coily hair. So they're not 9 ether. They have long, straight black hair. They're 6 ether. So we know they not black people, we know they not black people because they ether strands is 6 ether is straight. So, but they've ascended way past levels of spiritual consciousness than we can ever imagine. So this tells me, like, I've ran into Caucasian people, white people that that's highly spiritual and have, you feel me, dove to the pinnacles of, you know, consciousness. You feel me? I've ran into all type of people. So I don't really put the, I used to teach the same thing. The black man is God. The black woman is God. But like, as I matured on my spiritual journey in the wisdom, man, life showing me like it ain't got nothing to do with skin color. Anybody can become God as long as they get divine knowledge of self. They deserve to become God.
So when we say the black woman is God, again, we referring, when you look in the sky at night and the dark shit that you see between the stars, that's the black woman. That's the infinite womb of creation. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about Big Mama. The primordial noon where all things emerge, right? Now, Big Mama is represented in the pantheon by the zootype of a hippopotamus-headed female with breasts of a woman, right? And I think she got like lion's feet or some shit.
But hermetic science.
Yeah. And then
that's not
Egypt.
You mean not net? That's
Tawaret. Tawaret.
Okay.
Now, if you watch that new series that came out recently called Moon something, it's on like Netflix. And they got a depiction of her driving the boat across the desert sands.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but that's the imagery we use to give us the description of Big Mama. In Europe, the oldest depiction of Big Mama was called the Venus of Warlendorf.
Fact. Okay.
Right? So when you look, you see she's a hippie woman, heavy in the hips, with breasts, and she got nappy ass hair, or what we would call short dreads. Right? So when we look at that, these are symbols for the 9 ether Shakti or noon or dark matter energy that emerged in a sentient being form, right? And the first creation of the human was feminine or female. And they used to reproduce parthogenically.
Parthenogenic? Oh, okay, yep. When a female can have an offspring without getting her egg fertilized. Definitely.
Right. So the women asked Prime Creator if it was all right for them to create men from themselves so they could have counterparts. So this is when they say they divided up the sexes, right? Because the energy that's coming into the planet is morphing the planet from an all-feminine planet to a dual gender planet, and this is all part of what's called the divine plan. The dual gender planet is for the man and the woman to work together, and somebody hijacked the species. They hijacked University Earth in order to override the rules to the game. So what they did, instead of overriding the rules, they played with the rules upside down and backwards. And that's what kept us all fucked up.
Yeah, that shit deep, man. Man, I see you finna go to sleep, man. Hey, I ain't finna do shit, man.
Oh yeah, I'm about to get ready to cut out my Hey, but really, I ain't as sleepy as you think I am. I was smoking the heavy ass blunt when I started.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm really all up in the ethers and shit.
Astro travel. So speaking of that, so facts. So I teach like as far as like astro travel. Would this resonate with you? So besides, you know, it's deep because like it's I'm gonna just get straight to it. So astro travel, astro projection. Let's just say that astro projection is when you have an intentional out of body experience. So, but if I went to sleep while astro projecting, then this would be a regular dream. If I went to sleep and I astral projected in my sleep, this would be considered as a regular dream. But if I was to go into a dream state while awake, well, this is considered astral projection. So what's the difference between astral projecting and dreaming? The difference is sleep and awake. Because again, if I was asleep, bro, if I was asleep and I astral projected, this would be considered just a regular dream. But if I was in a dream state while awake, this is considered astral projecting. So the difference between astral projecting and dream is awake and sleep. If I'm awake and I can go into a dream state while awake, this is astral projection. What's the times that we go into the dream state while awake? When we daydreaming. Daydream is astral projection. This is basically what I'm getting to. Daydream is astral projection. You feel me? Probably never even heard of it that way, but it's very true and it's very valid, you know. And according to astral projection, what astral projection is when you have an out of body experience, which requires an astral body to travel the astral planes. So we need an astral body in order to astral project. This is a fact. Now, when we daydreaming, you can be driving a car for 2 hours, hand behind the wheel, stopping at stop signs, red light, but your mind is somewhere else. You're inside of another body, and your physical body is behind the wheel, but you're controlling another body the whole ride. I'm mostly daydreaming when I'm driving. And I'll be looking up, like when I get to the destination, I look back like, yo, I wasn't even driving. I was doing something else. It's like this whole ride. So that's a form of astral projection. And a lot of people like, yo, because they come, I get a lot of reflections that come to me like, yo, how can I astral project? And I say, do you daydream? When you daydreaming, that's a form of astral projection. Like, you know, would that resonate though?
So, from my understanding, the major difference between a dream and astral projection is dealing with the intentions and the awareness.
Okay.
If you're dreaming, you're not aware you're dreaming until you awake.
Exactly.
If you astral traveling, you're aware you in the dream world the whole time. That gives you control in the dream world.
Yep.
And if you fix it in the fourth dimension, it has to get fixed in the third. It's the trickle-down effect.
Definitely.
It's a trickle-down effect.
So
the dream state is a side effect of the third dimension and the fourth dimension collapsing into each other. So you're in two dimensions at the same time. Your system has to adjust, adapt in order for it to survive.
Well, definitely. I mean, that would be a tesseract, right? Because like a tesseract, when we're speaking in dimensional terms, a tesseract is the extra layer that's added onto the dimension. So the reason we move from 2D to 3D is because of the extra layer, which is the extra dimension, which is the tesseract, which made us, you feel me, brought us into 3D. So in order to go from 3D, you say the third and the 3D and the 2D is merged together. That's what you just said, right?
4.
Okay,
3 and 4.
3 and the 4 is merged together.
That's why we was in an infinity loop.
Ooh, hold on. According to the science, though, because I fuck with dimensions and realms and everything like down to a T, but according to the science, and that just, hey, you just sparked my mind. So the third mixed in, merging in with the fourth dimension, this bringing us into the fifth dimension, because the tesseract for the third dimension was the fourth dimension. And this is how we raise in dimensions by the tesseracts and extra layers. They merging together can bring us into the fifth. If you get it.
We figured out a long time ago, so when you're reading about the masters of the Far East, the masters of India, the masters of Asia, right? They all knocking on this reality, trying to find out how to fix this problem that we got that got us stuck in an infinity loop, which is the side effect of time. We only got time because we in the infinity loop. When we step out of the infinity loop, the life is different in the 3D because we become more controllable of the creation itself. We be in more control of it. Right? 30 seconds is about to cut out. And so the whole system collapsed fourth and the third like a slinky, and you pinching two of the pieces together, and we on the inside making the figure eight around the two. Going up the fourth, down the top of the